Hey detailers, podcast sponsor Joe here from Autofiber Australia. As pro detailers, we are all about using the highest quality products for our customers when it comes to compounds, chemicals, and ceramic coatings. But what about microfiber? Are you using cheap towels that get used once and then tossed into the bin? You need to try out our amazing Autofiber range of microfiber. Seriously, it is the best stuff going around. Use our exclusive podcast code 15DDUP and get 15% off when you purchase any of our premium Korean or Chinese made microfiber. We have a wide range of products that are tailor-made to last a long haul, so you get the best value for money and your customers will appreciate it. Go to autofiber.com.au or find us on Instagram to make your purchase and check out our range. Now back to the podcast.
Welcome to the Detailing Down Under podcast, the place for everything auto detailing in Australia right now. Here's your host, Dale Guthrie.
G'day and welcome to the Detailing Down Under podcast, and I'm your host, Dale Guthrie. Back into it once again, and hope everyone is getting busy. So it's that time of the year again. Everyone wants their car done before Christmas, so no doubt everyone's books are full for the rest of the year. So it's definitely a busy time of the year for everyone. So, but other than that, not much on my side of things. So I don't know if about you, but everyone's probably seen enough SEMA content as well online. So I hope to have someone on before the end of the year to have who was actually over there to spill what was going on, and he owns a big shop in Australia here, so can't wait for that one. So yeah, but other than that, this one's a really good one as always, and I think some of you would know this guy. He's known. This one's a bit about more wrapping and side of things, and I thought, what better bloke? And he's just released a new tool for the industry for you guys as well. So without listening to me too long, let's bring on Johnny Q, all the way from Perth, WA.
All the way from
Johnny.
Perth.
How you going?
Small, overgrown mining town, isn't it? Yeah, great. How are you?
Very good, mate. Awesome to have you on.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're from my theory, you are very well known in the rap game in Australia and PPF.
I'm known or renowned. I'm not too sure which I am, but people seem to recognize me, which is always a nice feeling.
No, I bet. No, it's very good. So, and even from your bio, award-winning car rapper and trainer, which is even better. So, one of them on.
That's there's always space for a bit of ego in those things. But if you are an award-winning installer, why not let people know that?
100%.
Especially in an industry where there are more and more rappers entering the market, and not that I want to be competitive, but I do want to be available as a resource to our installers.
Yeah.
So that's why I put myself out there. If I am going to help you, at the very least, you should know that I am accredited, right?
Yep. What award did you win? How did you win that?
Quite a few. A few with ASCA. I've competed in a couple of tournaments. Grabbed the Hexus Rap Battle in Sydney a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a handful. I'm accredited with, I want to say, most manufacturers. So yeah, I do present myself as someone who is experienced and who does understand the industry.
Yeah.
And I want to try to impart some of that wisdom and experience onto the people around me, if I can, which I think for the most part over the years I have been successful. You know, I've had people attend my courses, and I've watched them start shops, and that is so gratifying, absolutely gratifying. You know what I mean?
So how did your interest in rapping and where did that all come from? How did you start? And what's your background?
I can't stand the job. It's terrible. Oh God. No. I think, look, I'm an oldie. I've been doing it for about 18 years. Holy shit, 18 years. That scared me, right? I swear yesterday it was only 10 before that. Well, no, I fell into it like a lot of people back in the day, before it even was a thing, you know? It all came from signage and printing, of course, where a customer comes in and you produce a simple flat sign for them, and one day they say, hey, could you put it on my car for me? I need a logo. Yeah, okay, cool, no worries. So it's cool. It's a bit small. Can you make it a bit bigger? Like say half the car. Okay, here we go. Then before you know it, you have an entire industry that was birthed out of signage.
Yep.
So that was my the way of entering the market, through signage. And I spent a lot of years trying to get out of it, but as the industry developed, I just got sucked in, and before you know it, I'm running training courses, and I'm one of Perth's most. I'm a preferred installer here in Perth, and now I focus on it. So I have all this experience purely by accident. I'm sure a lot of detailers are the same, and I'm sure a lot of other rappers have the same experience. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, 100%. A lot of details fall into it as a part-time gig and end up full-time in a massive shop. So were you self-taught, or how did you get?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Not because I wanted to be, but because you had to be back in the day. There simply was no training because there was no expertise. I don't want to say I was the first generation of rappers, but I was definitely close to it. When back in the day, we used to rap with 700 series, a simple cast film with no air egress, anything like that. The worst thing I've ever had to rap was a car in frosting film, because he wanted a metallic finish and we thought that would make it look better. So there was some courses available through Avery Dennison, who is a manufacturer of graphic materials. They did have a course available, but it was fairly rudimentary, fairly basic, how to hold a squeegee, blah, 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 nothing too crazy. And over the years, I have seen a lot of courses pop up, whether it's like the Hexas courses in Australia, which are amazing. The Rap Institute, which is a online course, a school, I should say, which is a resource that every rapper should get on board and have a look at. But it is a craft that is always evolving. So you can't get to a point and say, okay, I've learned it now, and that's the end, you're the best. You just can't do that. Every time I run a course, I learn something new.
Yep.
Because a student might have a particular way of doing something, and it just informs you. And then you take that technique, you apply it in your own operations, or maybe you take that technique on tour and show other students, and the entire industry just improves because of it,
Yep. How would the film, especially from when you started back in the day, what sort of time frame was that? Would you reckon?
Years. Oof. Oh
Long
God.
time ago. So with film or vinyl, how's that changed since then to now?
How has vinyl films changed in 18 years? Well, it really does depend on the brand.
On the brand, yep.
So a lot of shops, particularly in North America, are leaning on calendared films now, which is a much lower quality film, but it is performing. It's overperforming. A lot of the premium brands out there are improving their technologies, so getting stretchier, retaining their vibrancy, intensity of color, different color options now. It's an entire cult now. It's like I have an entire box next to me, just filled with swatch books from different manufacturers, Avery Dennison, 3M, Hexas, Horofold, KPMF. It's just so much option there now,
Yeah.
but they install differently for the most part too. So you can have an installer who can be very good at installing one brand and not very good at installing another. And that is totally normal. I'm sure it's the same with detailing. You might be good with Geon and not very good at you'll have to help me here. I'm not very familiar with ceramic coating and things like that.
Yeah, there's so many products, so everyone's different and prefers.
It's intimidating. It's very intimidating, especially if you're entering one of these fields the first time, because you don't want to mess up, especially when you're working on someone's car. It's like, oh, is this film okay, or is this ceramic coat going to last, or you just don't know. So that's why it's important that installers out there have someone that they can defer to and say, hey, John, look, is this product the right product for application? Is this going to help me, or is this going to create problems? Blah, 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 blah. Right? It's important to have people like that. So I try for the most part to be at least one of those people out there. There is a lot of us, a lot of installer trainers out there. We're just available to answer questions. And I think most people are like that. I think we aren't really afraid of competition in that sense. But I think when you can improve another installer, the entire industry as a whole improves, because that's one less bad rap out there, that just sends a bad signal to the market. So we all benefit from having good, solid operations.
Exactly. And even when we talk about raising our prices in the detailing game, and that's one thing.
Prices. There's such a price disparity, isn't it?
Yes.
Even with detailing, I've gotten quotes as someone who knows nothing about it, and the difference is in the thousands. And as someone who's not really informed, you think, well, who's taking advantage of me here? You know what I mean? It's the same thing in wrapping. I've seen shops out there who quote 10 grand for a color change wrap, closed door, no roof sort of thing. You think, oh fuck, okay, they must be good, right? No, the guy up the road doing 3 grand wraps is does a much tighter job. You think, so where is the standard here?
Yeah.
And the thing is, there is no standard. And we do lean on social media to look at people's portfolios, and we do lean on reputation and who because it's impossible to regulate this industry. You can't do it. You can't do it with detailing, because it's that easy to go and buy some sprays and off you go, right? Isn't it?
Yeah. Oh man, we've talked about that so much on air about our industry needs to be regulated or have a certification.
You can't do it because if it was your job to certify them, the first question that everyone's going to ask is, well, who are you? Exactly. And who are you to certify me?
What have you done?
With wrapping, you know what I mean? It's like there are trainers out there who have different ways of training people. And some of those techniques are going to conflict with what other trainers are doing. You just can't help that, Yeah. So where is the standard, and who are you to certify us? So I think the only certification is going to come from within, That's it.
How did you start? Were you working from home, or did you have a shop at the time when you first went out?
When I went out on my own.
Or started, yeah.
So I went out as a subcontract wrapper or installer.
Oh yeah.
There is such a high demand for people like me in the industry. There aren't many of us. So when I did it, I just identified a gap in the market and just filled it. You know what I mean? Because you can charge a premium as an installer, just for being a rare resource. That's it. And that's why I did it.
Yep.
Money. That's it. That's it. That's all. But also I had just left my job, which I was very disgruntled with. Decided that I had to do something in the meantime, until I could, find a proper job, if you like, I started subcontracting, and it just never stopped. Been doing it ever since. Holy moly.
Did that expand out of Perth, obviously? Like, and then that would have led on to your training side of things? You seen another
Yes,
gap in the
yeah,
market?
yes,
Yeah.
it did. Yes, it did. Look, it's not a hard job. That's the thing about it. You know what I mean? I think people just get so distracted by the glamour of it on Instagram that they start it and realize, oh shit, I've got to spend half a day scrubbing off adhesive. This is not what Instagram promised me. So because of that, there aren't many of us, which means we have to travel. So I might get a phone call from a company in Sydney saying, hey, I need you to fly up to Port Hedland for a quick job or something. Or I got a call from Adelaide and I've got to fly over there for a week and do some vans. It's just because there's just no one else. You know what I mean? And it's not a question of, hey, how much to? It's like, John, you need to get over here. I don't care what it costs. It's like, okay. Okay. And through that network, manufacturers and distributors start to take notice. And it's inevitable that you get that phone call from one of them saying, so you want to help us out? We have a customer in Broome that needs some training. Can you help us out? Okay. And then before you know it, it's been 8 years and you think, fuck, so much for that other job. Right?
Yep. No, that's good. So is that the training as well? When did you start all that?
Well, you wouldn't believe it, but I've been helping out with training since the very beginning, as in the very beginning, 18 years ago. I was asked to come along and help out with the Avery Dennison courses, just as like the secondary. It's like, hey, John, don't talk, just help. During the free-for-all, it's like you don't really have that speaking voice. You're not an orator, just help. If someone needs help, if someone's doing the wrong thing, just jump in. That's it. And then once I went out on my own as a contractor, then I sort of I partnered up with Spandex here in Australia to help deliver an advanced wrapping course, not just in wrapping, but also in paint protection, like very small, exclusive, targeted courses. Okay, so none of those room full of 15 people with one trainer babbling on for ages. No, just like very intense labor-focused course. Okay, targeted. So 6 people max, and that's all I want.
That's good.
And we focus on the problems that you face in a shop. For instance, we talk about running a wrap business. Is, hey, what's your biggest problem in your shop right now? Oh, I'm having so many comebacks right now on our vans. Great, let's talk about that. I've hired a van today, so let's spend half a day on that and let's talk about that. Boom, problem solved. Okay, so we target the problems. They're not broad courses, and that's the way training should be, I think, because every shop is different, isn't it? Yep. If you have 2 detailers and they've both been doing that for 10 years, okay, but they live ages away, and you put them in the same room, despite that 10 years of experience, they're going to be completely different applicators, aren't they? They're going to have a different process, a different product. They're going to have different strengths and weaknesses. How do you cater a course like that? You can't, because everyone has their own unique appetites. You know what I mean? What about guys out there who are doing commercial wrapping and guys out there doing color change? You try and get them to switch bodies for a day. They're fucked. They can't do it. You know what I mean? How do you build a course for them? You know what I mean? There's no such thing as a course for wrapping. How do you do it?
Yeah.
I can't do it. The people that say they can, I don't believe them. But apparently that's what they're doing.
I think that's where most people have probably heard you from too, your spandex side of things in your training courses. So definitely I have. So cool. So yeah, that's very interesting. So what would be the difference in a good job and a bad job on a vinyl? We'll say color change on a car.
Color change.
What sort of? Because asking on behalf of myself and all the people that don't know much into
Sure.
in the vinyl side, because we all know more about PPF probably through here. We've had rappers on here before.
Let me prompt you.
Yeah.
Let me prompt you. What do you think is a bad job?
I could, with vinyl, I'm not sure because I haven't seen a lot of. Do you get the lifting of edges and stuff like that with vinyl still? Yep.
Absolutely. Okay, so it's really hard to create a standard of what is and what isn't a good wrap, because you simply don't know the circumstances, and that isn't a cop out. It just happens to be true. You know what I mean? So, for example, you might have a guy who wants to get into wrapping, so he'll go out and he'll spend $1,000 on a color, and he'll wrap his own car for the first time ever, and he's doing it just to inform himself. Hey, I know it's going to look like shit. I know there's going to be creases and bubbles, blah blah blah, but I have to do it. Or maybe his mate paid him $1,000, right, to use his own car to practice. So it's going to be creases and bubbles, right? So where's the standard here? As opposed to the shop who's been doing it for 10 years and they're charging, say, like $7,000 for a closed or color change. What you don't want to see, okay, here it is. You don't want to see bubbles. So no bubbles, obviously.
Mm.
You don't want to see wrinkles or creases or anything like that. And you would expect that the shop that you're using would have stripped the car down to minimize the amount of inlays and joins and seams. And that's it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's it.
About probably good prep, like obviously pull everything off.
Preparation is key. That's why I think panel beaters make the best wrappers, because they can strip a car down to its shell and just wrap everything and just reassemble. You know what I mean? If you can't do that, if you are entering the wrap space for the first time, then just go and get someone to do it for you. Okay, go up the road and speak to a panel beater and say, "Hey, you have an apprentice?" "Yeah, we do." "Great, I'll give you $100 to send him to my shop for an hour to strip down this Hilux or something."
Yeah.
"Oh, but he's just an apprentice." "Yeah, but he probably knows more than me."
That's
You know
usually.
I mean?
That's usually what they do.
Just create a relationship with the people around you. You have to have a team. If you don't have a team, you're going to be in trouble.
Mm.
There is a shop here in Perth. I won't say what, but they have it figured out. They have it absolutely figured out. They have a guy that comes in and strips the cars. They have another guy that comes in, cleans it. They have another contractor that comes in, wraps it. You know what I mean? They have another guy that comes in and does the ceramic coat. It is a completely subcontracted shop, and it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You know what I mean? And that's the way it should be. You make more money wrapping the car than you do cleaning it. So just get someone to clean it.
Yeah.
Just get someone to strip it. You know what I mean? Don't get bogged down with the shit. If you don't know how to do it well, that would be my advice. Okay. And if you can't wrap, if you can't do any of that stuff, then focus on running the business. Okay. Because running a business and working a high-paying job, self-employed, is completely different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
We normally say if you don't like something or not good at that area of your business, hire someone to fill that spot and you stick to polishing or detailing or whatever.
You know it, and people are hungry out there, and they're also willing to help. If you are a rapper and you're unsure and you're in the shit, just call up your local rap company, ask the question, "Hey, can you help me out?" You'll be surprised with the answer. They might just help you out, and if they can't lend you any physical assistance, they're going to at least give you some good advice. That's perfect. There are online forums for this sort of thing. Okay, get on Facebook. There are groups, open groups, public groups which you can join. Ask a question. If you're nervous about how it's going to make you look, just make it anonymous. You can do that. People are happy to help.
Mm.
Okay, and sometimes they help for selfish reasons, so they can put up a big long paragraph and explain the process, just so they can get some. Who cares? You're getting good advice.
Yeah.
Who cares?
So you've
Yes.
noticed with your training, you said how busy it is, and you only can fit in 6 people now. So are you literally every course is booked out well in advance and stuff like that?
Oh, look, yes, yeah, pretty much. I fly to Sydney, for instance, and I'll have 5 days to play with, and I'll say to my distributor, okay, fill the courses. Boom. 5 days, 6 people each, packed.
Yeah.
And they fill up so quickly.
Do you think the popularity of that is because of people seeing it on Instagram and think it's easy to do, so let's do it?
Well, it's you have to give Instagram a lot of credit.
Yes.
It does make our job look very glamorous, doesn't it?
Yep.
But when you really break down the job, you don't see, the installer who's trying to reinstall a bumper at 8 p.m. screaming "fuck" because the screw won't go in. Yes, Instagram plays a huge role in pushing people toward the industry, because if done well, it can be very therapeutic, can't it? It's a very fun job, it's cool. You get to work on cool cars if that's your market. You know what I mean? There are people out there that prefer to work on vans and utes and things like that, and that's fine too. You make more money commercial, you do color change, right? So there's something for everyone in this industry.
Yep.
And there's more than one ways to get into it. You don't have to start wrapping a Porsche on day one. You don't. Like, if you wanted to get into it, best advice I can give you is wrap your own car. Wrap your own car.
Yep.
Right? Because that's how you learn. Right? I think if I had to impose a rule on every wrapper in the world, just one, it would be wrap your own car. Oh, what's that? You want a job with my wrap shop? Oh, show me your wrap. Show me your car. Oh, you haven't wrapped it? Sorry. Come back when you wrapped it. I don't care if there are creases, bubbles, and shit everywhere. I don't care. Just wrap it for me. Show me you made an effort. Okay, cool. You can have a job now. That's it.
How did the relationship with Exus start? They just
Exus?
Yeah. I mean, spandex, sorry. There's so many of them.
Hence the state of affairs, right? There is a lot of manufacturers out there, a lot of suppliers. Hexus is a manufacturer of film. Spandex is a distributor of graphic materials and rigid products and so on. I've known the guys at Spandex for a very long time. Very, very long time. And that sort of cliche environment where you're all sitting around having a drink and you talk about it for years. Oh, John, we should do our own thing one day. And you have that same conversation a million times over a number of years. And then one day you think, no, John, we really should just do this. And here we are. I think the first year we did it, we kind of overdid it. We think, John, we're gonna put you on the road for like 20, 30 weeks this year. I was like, oh fuck, okay. All right. And then the following year we cut it in half and said that's a bit nicer. But really we just identified it, a need for it, and we just did it, and we were so motivated by the feedback, which was so overwhelmingly positive, that we thought we have to keep doing this and we have to keep making it better.
Yep.
And that's what we've been doing. And that's it.
Has the need for, I know we talk about here a fair bit about PPF training, is that overtaking the vinyl side, do you reckon? Or
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with it. You know what I mean? It's actually a lot harder to fill a wrap course than it is a PPF course these days.
True.
like me, right?
Yeah.
Especially since wrapping was my first love, and I learned PPF later. But if you can wrap, you already possess 90% of the skills you need to PPF, and vice versa.
I was
That's
going to
it.
say, how would you go if you're into PPF and then just thought you can now do vinyl?
Well, though the skills overlap, that makes sense. You know, it's like with wrapping and PPF, you've got to know how to stretch. For example, you've got to know how to use a squeegee for the most part. You have to know how to cut, sort of, and they overlap. That's it. I mean, obviously, they do have their unique requirements and appetites and so on, but for the most part, they're pretty much the same. It's very easy to teach someone to PPF if you can wrap it, and that's it. And it doesn't matter what sector of automotive you come from, you're going to bring something to the table, and you're never going to start from scratch, are you? If you are a detailer, for instance, you are going to make a very effective PPF installer because you are going to know how to prep that car so well, aren't you?
Yeah, I think that's
Lovely.
the attraction.
Yeah, and that's something a lot of rappers don't know how to do. You know what I mean? I'll do a rap course and I'll say, all right, guys, let's talk about clay wiring. And someone will say, what's that? Oh, fuck, okay. And that is a normal reaction I get in a rap course. If you are a panel beater, you're gonna know nothing about cleaning or application, but you're gonna know how to strip a car down. And that is valuable. So I mean, everyone brings something to the table. Okay. My personal strength was printing and signage. Okay. So that's something that I can bring to the table and focus on commercial wrapping. That's fine. You know what I mean? You don't have to follow the same path that everyone's doing. And that's why it's impossible to build a structured course. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Do you sort of prep for them courses? Do you reach out to the people to see what they want to learn, or is it just purely on the day they rock up and they're like, what do you want to know? What are you struggling with?
Well, thing is, when you're doing a course, or it's you don't really know what you're dealing with until they arrive. Even when you phone them up beforehand, which is something I used to do, and they say, oh yeah, John, I want to learn how to get those corners right. I want to blah, blah, blah. But once you get going, you begin to identify problems which they didn't know they had. Like, oh, is that how you hold your squeegee? Oh shit, I think that's a much more important thing to focus on, you know? For example, you know what I mean? Or, oh, you're using methylated spirits to clean your car. What the fuck? I don't know. Use this. You know, so you identify problems as you go along. And that's the point. It's like they come to fix one thing and they leave having fixed 10 things which they didn't know they had to fix. And that's the point. And the best thing about having a small group is the students help each other out. If you have a rapper like come to the course and a detailer and they're sitting next to each other, and the rapper is going to ask a question, is going to ask me about cleaning, of course a detailer is going to stand up and say, oh yeah, well, what if you tried this? Lovely. I love having that crosstalk. You don't get that in a big course of 15, 20 people because people are afraid to put their hand up. But in a small group, that has been disarmed, you know, with a bit of, you know, charisma and humor. Okay, God forbid. Then that shop talk can be extremely valuable. If anything, it's more valuable than the training itself that I put out.
Yeah.
Having professionals just talking to each other. It's great.
Yeah.
And yes, PPF is much higher demand for that.
Are you teaching them the bulk install side of things of that as well? Or the Yep.
Bulk versus templates.
Yep.
Okay. Yes, I prefer bulk. Other installers prefer templates. What can I say?
Yep.
And one isn't better than the other. It's just a style of application in the same way that You might have a commercial wrap or a color change wrap. It's just a different standard that you pay for. Doing templates is faster, but doing bulk is you get better coverage. Especially if you're doing color change PPF now, which manufacturers of PPF have been very bold to start making those films. Because now we have to learn to do that shit. It's like, thanks, guys.
I was going to get to that. Your thoughts?
What are my thoughts on color change PPF? I wish they never did it, but they did. So now I'm stuck with it. Now we have to do it. So thanks. It's like when Avery Dennison released a chrome wrap film, and they specifically said, "Listen, lads, this is an accent film. Don't try and wrap a car in it." So what do? We wrap that film. We start wrapping fucking Lambos in it, and now it's classed as a wrap film. So it's always kind of fall on the installers to stress test these new films. Absolutely. I think color change PPF is the future of wrapping.
That's what I was going to say. Is it will take over vinyl wrap eventually?
Well, look, there's always going to be a place for wrapping.
Yeah,
always. Because maybe they're going to, along the line, the wrap films are going to be improved to last longer. Who knows? Maybe we're going to have urethane-based wrap films one day. Maybe we already have them, I guess, in a way. I think that might be in our future, but it's a lot easier to install a film dry than it is wet. Let me tell you, a lot easier.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, but yeah, I can imagine.
Well, look, like with a slip solution and a piece of film, if you don't really know what you're doing, it's going to keep firing back every time you squeegee, right? A slip, bit of tack, these are just the off and on, the stop and go of PPF is having a spray that allows you to slide the film and a spray that allows the film to hold. That's it. Slip solution, a tack solution. Sometimes it can be difficult to balance those if you move from product to product. Different brands have different appetites, but with a dry application, with a wrap film, it's just lock and go. It holds. That's it. Provided you follow up with a bit of post heating if you stretch it. Yep. So as more and more products enter the market, training becomes more and more essential, right?
Yep.
Surely.
Yeah, no, we've always pushed that on here. Like, yeah, there's not much in the detailed training in Australia. And then we talk about PPF, you'll hear about different courses and stuff, obviously like your own. And then the wrap, I haven't really heard much about that, but you see a lot of them. So
there's that for every one PPF course out there, there's like 5 wrap courses. You know what I mean? And there are a lot of shops out there which will run a wrap course, just a one-off, and then never do it again, I've noticed. Explain that. I can't explain that. But I think a PPF courses out there are in extreme high demand. I can't do enough of them. They fill up instantly. And when I am doing them, every student is asking different questions. It's like you might spend half a day focusing on corners. You might spend in another course that there might be a demand for cutting. It's like, what? Obviously you can't cut the car. Right?
Yes.
Actually, how's that for a standard when you ask me, okay, what's a bad wrap? When they cut the car, right? That's an important one.
How with your courses, do people come out, like, is there the word certification, or do you have to come out and then you're now an installer for this brand or that brand, or is it just you keep it widespread? Or
what do you mean? Like, how do I
so with spandex, so what do they, which film would you use? Would you use their own or?
Understood. Okay. So this is my course that Spandex is promoting, right? So this is an arrangement.
Yeah.
Okay, so spandex fills the course and provides the materials. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
You don't have
And
to
through
go
that,
now. You have to use this brand now. Yeah.
well, yes. So I prefer like my preferred brands are the brands that they sell. That's it. That's why we have this partnership.
Yep. What brands are they selling for those who don't know?
So Spandex sells graphic films from Avery Dennison. They sell Omega skins, which is new. They in their PPF range, they sell Stack Automotive films. That's not to say if you engage in this training, you have to stick with them.
Yeah,
Training does cater to those brands because they are very premium brands. And if you wanted to start out in PPF, those are some, or wrapping, those are some great brands to start with. Doesn't get any easier than Avery Dennison. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Even if you prefer 3M, KPF, whatever, installation wise, it doesn't get any easier. You know? But if you're going to be a wrapper, do not restrict yourself to one brand. Okay, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. You know, it's like I am a face. Oh, I don't want to say a face, but yeah, okay, fine. I'm a face for spandex and the brands they sell, but I use every brand. Right?
Why is that? Is it
Yeah.
a certain vehicle that would wrap easier with this brand or not?
No, by virtue of color, for instance. If a customer walks in and says, hey, look, I saw this color online, can I have it? Yeah, sure, whatever. It might be a tech wrap. I'm not going to say no, am I? I'm just going to do the job. That's it.
That's what they want.
So it's important to educate yourself. If you're doing commercial wrapping, then fine. Have a preferred print media and laminates. That's fine. Because it's just a canvas then that you print on. That's it, right? But with wrap films, you need to be able to use everything, or at least most of them. And that's it. If you really wanted to have a preference, then I suppose you could take a swatch book off the table and hide it. It's something that I do. There are one or two brands which I don't show my customers for reasons, but that's for the market to guess what they are. Cannot say that out loud.
No. What's popular at the moment in the wrap? What is everyone sort of all sorts of variations of cars and stuff?
What's popular in the wrap?
In the wrap game, what are people wrapping every day?
What are people wrapping every
exotic
day?
cars, supercars? Still the same?
You name it, people wrap it. I've wrapped some weird shit in my time. Not just cars. Yeah, it does not have to be automotive.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's a very broad question. You can ask me what I'm wrapping a lot of.
What are you wrapping a lot of?
Different from someone else. I'm wrapping a lot of trucks and buses right now. Not very glamorous, but that's where the money is.
Yeah, right.
And you don't have to wrap as deep if you're doing commercial. So how's that for some advice? If you're starting out and you're unsure, then do some commercial wraps. I'm sure there's some bus out there that wants that orange removed and they want a nice blue or something. A few creases here and there, whatever, fine. Just get it on. If that's what you want to do before you attack the premium job and start doing a Porsche or an Aston Martin or something like that. Hell, it doesn't even have to be a high-end vehicle. It can just be a nice HSV or something, right?
Yep.
Amount of Commodores I've wrapped. Oh God, so many.
Yeah. What's the deal with the trucks? What sort of trucks people want wrapped these days? All sorts.
Just high nose and things like that. Why not? It's like if you can wrap it, people want it.
Yeah.
I've wrapped tables and chairs and fridges and shit like that too. It's like it's amazing the things people try on you. I've wrapped microphones, headsets, wrapped someone's shotgun once, and then on the first shot, he blew off the wrap because I covered something. He just blew it off. Wrapped helmets.
Oh, yeah.
I know guys out there whose focus is motorcycles. And when I get asked in Perth, hey, do you wrap motorcycles? No, but this guy does. Go see him, and they'll go see him, and he'll do it, right? So you can exist in a niche within wrapping. That is totally fine.
Mm.
You don't have to be the great, an all-in-one wrap shop on day one. You don't have to do that. Plus, no one's doing that anyway.
Yeah. Find your market and sort of aim for that and stick to it, and maybe be different. Yeah.
I'm sure it's the same with detailers, I know detailers where 99% of the work is through dealerships, which is very different from dealing with a customer, isn't it? An end user, I should say, isn't it?
Yeah, they don't want to pay as much.
Which, the dealerships or the end customer?
The dealership.
Well, then you give them the work that they're paying for, and you know what, you may make more money based on quantity. Who knows? If that's what you want to do, then do it. That's fine. You know what I mean? If you want more passion projects, then pursue end users, but it just means you're going to have to do more work advertising yourself and more work on social if you want to target end users.
Yeah.
If you're not on social media, you should be.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are in our game, so they actually work it pretty well, believe it or not.
I should be doing it.
Speaking of that, your new my rap game, you've just released a new digital toolkit, as you mentioned it. What's the story behind all that, and where'd that come from?
Yes, my rap game. What a cool name, hey?
We're just talking about
it. Basically, it targets shops in automotive restyling. So as an installer that gets around, what I've noticed is that there's a lot of operational blindness in the industry. Maybe you know what I mean when I say that. Like the relationship or the transaction between shop and installer is normally very smooth. But the transaction between shop and customer, rough. Yeah. Most shops do not have a client waiver. Most shops do not have a vehicle inspection form, right? Most shops don't have any materials to manage their staff or manage their materials, no production checklist whatsoever. They have no standardized flyers, no promotional materials whatsoever. They have nothing. They have nothing of the sort, okay? Some bigger shops don't even have the most basic compliance documents, okay? Mm-hmm. It's very important, right? So what I've done is I have created an entire package of all of these forms and documents and checklists and whatnot. 45 templates, all editable for your shop. It just covers all those bases. Okay, so if you wanted to build a handover kit for your customer, say you're a wrap shop, you want to have a handover kit, you want to have some terms and conditions, you want a customer preparation form that they can, or checklists, so that the customer brings you the vehicle ready to go. You want to have a client waiver to protect yourself, which is very, very important. If you wanted to have some referral cards, next appointment stickers, all these sort of things, which you wish you could find the time to do, but it's never did. It's all there.
Yeah.
You know? So when I say that you should, certify from within, this is what I mean, okay? It's impossible to certify the industry or regulate it. So just improve yourself from within, okay? So stop falling into these traps, okay? Start to protect yourself, create some flow within your company. And that's what it is. I see it all the time. And that's something And with that experience, I built this. If you want to go check it out, by all means, www.mywrapgame.com. Very, very cheap. $150 for the entire pack. It's too cheap. I don't even know why I'm doing it for that cheap. But it's just my way of giving back to the industry, because when my customers are operating well, then the transaction between me and the shop is going to be good as well. And that's it. You know what I mean?
So do you design?
What shops to do it?
You go onto the site and design your stuff with your own logo and then get it printed? How's it? Yep.
All it is just PDFs and Illustrator format files and documents. It's about 100 hours worth of design work in that for me to create all those. All you have to do is download it, get it into Illustrator, drop in your logo, and it's yours. Done.
It's pretty cheap, actually. Yeah, very.
It's too cheap, but the feedback that I have gotten has been so overwhelmingly positive. The amount of shops in Australia and North America that have gotten on board with this thing and said, John, for fuck's sake, where were you? Where were you? You know, and you hear it all the time. You know, if you're in a shop and you think, oh yeah, I'm working on this new form that's going to help me run, you know, like manage production in this shop, blah blah blah, and then 5 years later you go back and say, oh, how's it going? Well, I haven't done it yet. Oh, fuck's sake. Okay. Or a customer walks on the door and asks a million questions about PPF, and you send them away, and you think, I wish I had something to give them that they could read. Well, I have that now. I have
awesome.
pliers, the 4 PPF, okay, 4 ceramic coating, 4 color change wrapping. I have a specific flyer just for commercial wrapping. I even have a business card template in there if you really wanted it. It's all in there. You know what? You might say to me, I can already hear you saying it to yourselves. Oh, John, I already have all that sort of shit. Bullshit you do. You don't have all 45 of them. Let me tell you. That's why the pack is so comprehensive. You know, and I think my main motivation for doing it is just so my customers can be a bit more organized when they're dealing with me. You know, it's all started with the client waiver. You know,
Yeah.
Get your customers to sign the waiver, for fuck's sake. It's so important. You know, if you're putting a film on a car, okay, and that car is super old and it has paint problems, it's brittle, and the customer goes to strip off the vinyl, for instance, and it pulls a bit of paint, God forbid, but just suppose it does, because it's an old piece of shit car. Of course, the customer's going to come back and say it's your fault. But if they sign the waiver that clearly says we take no responsibility for taking the paint, blah, 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 then you're fine. And why shouldn't we say that? Because the manufacturers don't take responsibility. It's all in their documentation. Just look at any data sheet or terms and conditions related to using the products that we use. Sorry.
You're right. No, I definitely agree with that. I run our own as well with a paint declaration form, so that's pretty cool. You got that in there as well, which is a massive.
It's so important. Even things like inventory audits, you know what I mean, that you can do every day. There's even a staff review form, so you can even like review your staff in wrapping, and all the audits are there, all the prompts are there, so you can examine how well you're doing, or how well your staff's doing. How you can give this form to your staff and say, hey, I want you to self-evaluate. You know what I mean? And I'll do it too. And then we'll meet in the middle and we will discover your value.
Yep.
And you can bargain with that. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
really this is
pay rise.
yeah, if that's the incentive, but it's also just showing a bit of interest in the staff. Just saying, how you going? Hey, looking really good when it comes to like cleaning and preparation, but I've noticed here that I've just marked you down as like a 2 out of 5 when it comes to like post heating, because you are missing a few sections. Okay, so that's going to be a key indicator for our next review. Okay, and this is what I think you should do to try and fix that here. blah, blah, blah. You can start to apply new standards, new procedures. And that's it. Because this is the biggest gap in the industry. Okay. People talk about training. No. There's plenty of that. There's plenty of that. But you try walking into any random sign or print or wrap shop and you ask to see their vehicle inspection form. 9 out of 10 times they're going to say, "We don't have one."
That's interesting.
And
this will work with detail shops as well. Like
absolutely. Well,
there's
there's an entire section in there for detailing. Hell, there's even forms in there if you run a tint shop. Okay, customer registration, flat glass worksheets, blah, blah, blah. Even estimation sheets. If you are unsure how to get into wrapping because of price considerations, you're not sure how to price a job, there is a pricing template in there. It shows you how to price them.
Yeah, that's a big one too, about part of quoting and stuff. So that's a big one.
It's not hard, you know. And if you get this and you're still unsure, there are installers out there who can help you. Of course, if you are a detailer and you want to get into wrapping, this is what I would do. If I was a detailer, I would go approach a wrap shop and I would explain everything to them, right? This is what I want to do. Hey, can I come here and learn from you and I'll provide you with some detailing experience? 9 out of 10 times they'll say, fuck yeah, because most wrap shops have no idea how to prep their cars properly. Build a relationship. That's it. It's not hard. It's not hard. And there is plenty of resources out there. I wish I had this package when I started out. Just the amount of downtime I've had as a result of having to build this thing, scary. But the support I've gotten is so much more than I thought I would, you know? So much so that I'm now looking at new product ideas and new training manuals and things like that. You know, all those digital resources which we all wish we had, or we all assure ourselves that we're going to make, but just never do it. Right?
I think
that's my
yeah. I think the work's already done. If you can just change your logos and stuff,
that's it.
have it your style, represent your brand.
Even comes with 6 different color options if there's interest in that. So it's just a matter of just switching off a few layers and it's all there.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I've seen you. Yeah, because you're not long released it, and I'm like, oh, I must get him on to discuss this.
I released it about 4 weeks ago.
Yep.
It's been a very organic launch. I haven't really pushed it. I just wanted to see what would happen if I put it out there without any promotion, anything like that. And the response has been phenomenal. I've had some of the biggest shops and biggest personalities in the world contact me and said, look, hey, John, I've just purchased this kit, blah, blah, blah. Holy shit. You know what I mean? Obviously, I have to protect client confidentiality. I can't say who's buying it.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Let me tell you, the biggest wrap shops in the world have gotten on board with this thing and said, John, please tell me there's going to be more. Well, there has to be now. Shit, you said.
Pressure.
There has to be. So look, you're now competing with shops who have this. Why not get it too? You know what I mean? Especially if you're getting into wrapping. Don't learn this shit the hard way, guys. Trust me. Nothing worse than a customer coming back and saying problem, because you forgot to mark down a dent on a car when it came in. Just dumb shit like that. You know what I mean? Oh, but John, it's just a vehicle inspection form. Well, it's one more form than you guys have, right? But look, there is a free sample on the website. Just go ahead and download it and just see it for yourself, you know, and just experience it and be a part of the new standard in the industry. I want every shop in the world to have this. That's ambitious. I get it, but you talk about certifying the industry and regulating it. This is how you do it. Okay, don't decide who's good and who isn't. Just give everyone the same resource.
We were talking earlier about presentation as well, so it's a good way to present yourself to your customers. what you've got as well. Like,
Absolutely. It'd be nice to be able to give them a nice little flyer with your logo at the bottom of it saying, here you go. You're unsure? Take these, go home and have a read. Any questions, let us know. Boom. How many shops out there have handouts like that? It's the dumbest thing. Just a handout. It's just a handout. Do you have one? No. Why not? Oh, but we have an Instagram portfolio they can go and look at. No one gives a shit about that. Cool, bro. Yeah, sick. You have a portfolio online. People don't want that. People want to actually read about your service and they want to read about the benefits of PPF and so on and so forth. How many shops out there that wrap cars or do PPF actually have actually give their customers actual care instructions for their wrap? How many?
probably not many.
Almost none do.
Wow.
Are you crazy? Especially in this climate,
Mm.
the Australian climate, where the UV is so punishing on wraps. You'd be crazy not to give them some care instructions and the waiver as well to say that, hey, if you don't take care of this car as per instructions, we will be able to tell. That's it.
Yeah.
And just to top it off, I even chucked in a maintenance form in there as well, like a checklist. So if your customer comes back after 2 years, for instance, there's a form you can go dig up, which is a wrap checkup form. And it actually prompts you with like 30 different questions. Okay. You, as the person doing this form, don't have to think. You just have to follow a prompt. Things like, has this vehicle been parked near the beach for X amount of time periods?
That's interesting because I think with most PPF shops, from what I see and myself, we have like a 30-day, after 30 days, come back and inspect the job. Do you guys run that as well with the vinyl? Sort of.
No, but they should.
Yep.
They absolutely should. I know some shops have a checkup, a mandatory checkup, that if you miss that checkup, there goes your warranty and support.
Yep.
Nothing worse than a guy coming back after a year and saying, hey, yeah, the bumper failed. I started noticing it a few days after I picked up the car. Well, why didn't you tell me? Because now I've got a bigger problem. You know?
Exactly.
Because now you can't just fix something. You have to replace it. It's like, fucking hell, thanks. So it's good for your business to build in those systems and those procedures, because it's nothing worse than moving backwards for the most frivolous things. You know, like, what do you mean you forgot to check the lights before sending the car away and they weren't plugged in properly? For fuck's sake. You know what I mean? It's like, where is that quality control sheet?
Mm.
It's, or the pre-delivery is what they say in automotive. Okay, where's the procedure? Where's the follow-up? Okay, it's not there. Most shops don't have those. And the shops that do have those, when you're moving backwards, they're moving forward. And the gap between you and them is only getting bigger, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I've heard that even. So we had some guys from America come out, the Chicago Auto Pros.
Yes.
Yeah, so we had them and they informed us with their training about their processes and procedures in their shop. So the guy who will wash the car will then sign off on that, and then it'll go through to the next bay, like, and all the sort of the prep side, and then they'll go into the film side and who put the film on, and they have to sign each process.
Exactly. So that's
cool.
called a fulfillment form. All right.
Yep.
I have one of those too.
There you go.
It's all in there. It's all in there, and it doesn't just target wrapping. It targets PPF. It even targets detailing and ceramic coat, printing and signage. Okay, it's also a very big part of that too. There's a proofing template in there, so that when you send a design to a customer, you can put it on a nice template.
Oh yeah.
With details listed there below. It's all in there. You know, so, and this is all these problems that these forms fix. This is 90% of the problems you will face running a business like this.
That's really good. I've never seen
Imagine
this.
going home at 4 p.m. instead of 8 p.m. Imagine going to steakhouses instead of Macca's. You know what I mean? Imagine having staff that actually take pride in their work instead of fighting you at every corner. Imagine having a business that just promotes itself because you have referral cards with every wrap you do that just sits there. You know what I mean? Imagine getting those 5-star reviews on Google because you actually prompted them to do it.
Yeah.
Imagine having customers that actually take care of their wraps because they want the support if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Imagine having time to actually build your business in other ways and review new products and look at new ways and new services to offer because you now have that time, because you're not perpetually going backwards. Imagine never running out of your most basic materials because it's some guy's job to audit the inventory. He does it every Friday at 12 p.m. It gives you a top-up report. Oh, this. These
Very
are the
good.
most important things, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I've only just discovered like that side of things as well. Like when you talk about, well, the declaration, we already run that, but I think a lot of shops would find huge benefit from little bits, even if they've got their own already. I think this might be a better.
No shop
design.
has all 45.
Yeah.
None. At most, you'll have half of that. And you know what? If you don't know anything about wrapping, a good place to start is my wrap game, because just going through that treasure trove of documents and information will inform you as well. Suppose you don't know how to sell wrapping. Don't worry about it. Just read the flyer yourself. Let it sell it yourself. So there's something for everyone. I think if you're serious about wrapping and you're serious about having a system in place, and you're serious about servicing your customer, you need systems like this. And if you don't have time to do it, just get the pack. I don't have time to weed my own garden. I get a gardener. I don't know. See what I'm saying?
Yep. If you're
I
not
pass it on for its worth anyway. I think I'm very excited about it because of the feedback I've gotten, and it's just motivated me to do more with it. And over the next year or so, you're going to see a lot more resources in there to sort of help you improve the business you have, or even get you started in the wrap space.
That's awesome. So especially that price, that's a steal.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. So how are you looking for next year with your training courses? I know probably people would love to get on board, but is there much? You probably don't have much sort of sorted for next year yet.
Well, I just had that conversation last week.
Yeah,
my partnership, and we're just looking at ways to be unique and how to improve it. There are a lot of courses out there already, so you don't want to just be a Me Too course and say, I do a course as well. It has to be special. It has to be helpful. So that's a conversation we're having, but I think we'll have a schedule over the next month or so for next year. Okay, if you are an installer out there, either an existing wrapper or someone who wants to get into it, there are courses already available. I highly encourage you to attend multiple courses. Don't just attend one person's course. Attend multiple courses. Oh, but John, it's expensive. Of course it is. Are you serious about this or not? You want to be a pro wrapper or not?
Yeah.
Because it will pay off in the long run. I'm telling you.
Training's
Every
huge.
course has its own focus. You got to do it. And maybe you might regret one or two. Sorry, I can't speak for other courses, but you'll always walk away with something if you prompt the trainer correctly. That's it.
No,
yes.
What is it? No questions are bad questions. Yep.
Dates come out soon.
No questions a bad question.
No, absolutely not. It's absolutely not. And you got to be careful not to stunt people's growth by I've learned that the hard way a couple of times, you know, where you get a bit too friendly. You think, no, John, they're not your mates. You can't talk like that. No, but look, let me tell you this about training. Okay. Wrapping is easy, isn't it? Right. When you break it down to its technical components, wrapping a car is easy. As is detailing. I don't hope I don't condescend you or your listeners there, but detailing is easy like wrapping. What makes it complicated are the emotions that we put into it. Isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like, do we have the patience for this? All those soft skills. Do we have the initiative? Okay. Do we have a mind for this? Now, this is a very controversial thing. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Do we have the physicality for it? How's that
True.
one? Okay, because a person that invests in their fitness is obviously going to outperform the installer that doesn't in the long run. I hate to say it, this happens to be true. Like, what's our diet like? You know, are we getting enough energy throughout the day? Because it's a hard job. Try wrapping all day, every day, all week. Pretty intense. Okay, by Saturday, you're fucked. But the guy that invests in their diet and fitness and invests in their own mentality is going to outperform you. I'm sorry.
What happens if someone's like into PPF and purely just wants to come PPF to you just for the PPF side of things? You accommodate that, no doubt, as well, and have a mix. Or if you're into vinyl, you can switch sides and try PPF. Yep.
There's no reason why you can have a PPF shop that does the occasional vinyl wrap, provided that they're doing it well, or vice versa. You know, happens all the time. You know, it's like, as a subcontract installer based in Perth, Western Australia, for your American listeners, I help a lot of PPF shops with their vinyl wrapping because they recognize, hey, John, look, we got an important customer. You know, we do all their detailing in PPF, but our customer wants us to wrap his wife's car or something in cherry red. And that's not our thing. Can you come and do it for us? Yeah, sure. Or they might want to do it themselves. And they might explain to their customer, hey, you realize we don't do this very often. Like, yeah, sure, but I'm happy for you to try it on my car. Cool, fine. Just explain to your customers, you know, you don't have to lie to them, you know? Don't have to lie.
I've already had that request ever since starting PPF. People, they see the word or they wrap or the film and they think, oh, hey, can you wrap my car? And I'm like, ours is clear, it's PPF. Oh, I thought you did that color change or the vinyl. I said, no, we don't. But
oh no, but you can do matte PPF, can't you? And that looks pretty good on any car.
Yes, true that. So
yeah,
but no, it's interesting.
And you already, if you already have that mental fortitude in place already, where you can do a full PPF car, then wrapping is just follow the technical playbook and just get the film on. Order a few extra meters. You know what I mean? If this is your very, very first vinyl wrap, for instance, or one of your first, and you need one roll of film, just buy two. And just think, I'm willing to throw this roll in the bin just to learn this. Because I know at the end of this process, and I've spent $1,500 on a roll of film, and then a second roll, I know I'm going to be able to do it properly. That's how I do PPF. I throw a whole roll in the bin.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Fucked it up royally, you know. And the whole time I'm thinking, John, it's okay. You knew that this was coming. You know, there are courses out there where they'll charge you $2,000 for a course. And I just spent, I've just thrown a $2,000 roll of film in the bin. Same thing. How badly do you want it? Do you want to learn or not? Right? And if the training just isn't doing it for you, isn't really tickling that spot for you, then just, I don't want to say YouTube. But at the very least, go check out the Wrap Institute. Okay, Justin Pate has the best library of videos on there for PPF. Okay, but there are resources out there. Okay, the Wrap Institute will teach you to wrap. Okay. John Dubas, Rap IQ. He will teach you to run a business. He has an entire podcast on running a rap business. Okay. MyRapGame.com will give you all the documents you need to run that business. Okay. There's plenty of resources out there. Make sure you reach out to your suppliers. Okay. Get in with them. Okay. Because the bigger shops all have discounts. You should be having those too. Okay. It's just the way it is. Get in the car scene. Start talking to other shops. You have to have a team. Okay. And that's it. And of course, try and be ethical about it. You know what I mean? And I feel like when I say that, everyone knows what I mean. Right? Try and be ethical about it. Okay. Don't try and dog your best mate who's a rapper. Okay. Make sure you're doing the right thing by your customers. Okay. Use the right products. Okay. Full transparency. Okay. And promote your business and use social media. That's what everyone's doing. You don't have to spend all your time on there. Yeah.
No.
Just a little bit. Okay. Because there's a lot of credibility that comes from having an Instagram. Okay. The amount of work I get simply by having a presence is amazing. It would shock you, right?
That's where I found you. We might wrap it up, John. You've been very good with your time and definitely with your knowledge as well. So that's why I wanted you on here. I think you're a good fit for us. So, but yeah, how can anyone else reach out? Obviously Instagram and My Rap Game.
Yes, My Rap Game on Instagram, but also my personal work account, which is JQ_Rap Game. So go check it out. Or is it full stop Rap Game? I'm sure you'll find it. But I am available for any questions. I've sort of offer myself as an ongoing training resource to shops, because I like to see shops succeed. I like people doing well. And you never know the partnerships that can come out of it too. So if you're unsure, hit me up and I'm happy to answer any questions you have. But absolutely, thank you very much for having me.
No, and just the courses, if anyone's interested, or where will you be promoting them?
They'll be on my website shortly,
yep.
MyRapGame.com. But they're also available through Spandex. So if you are an Australian installer listener, hit up Spandex, Asia Pacific, and they can give you some information on that. But the website will be updating soon. So there'll be information about these courses on my website and theirs. It just hasn't happened yet. So we're taking a bit longer than everyone else because we're really trying to create something special. And not just roll over and do it again. And I think other trainers have a very similar mentality. So I think 2024 is going to be a good year for rapping. So it's a great time to get into it, because come 2025, the PPF space is going to be double the size again with double the amount of stores. So next year is the perfect time to do it.
Yeah, 100%. Nah, awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Johnny, for your time. And yeah, if anyone wants to reach out, hit him up. He's a wealth of knowledge. So, all right. Cheers, mate. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
That was another episode of the Detailing Down Under podcast. Subscribe now for everything auto detailing in Australia.